Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is George Herrera with the Queens Home team at Keller Williams Realty. In today's video, I'm answering the question, how often do home appraisals come in low? So if you're in the market to buy, or even if you're thinking of selling, you may be wondering, how common is that? And you may have heard of properties under appraising and the different consequences and issues that you run into whenever that happens, because it's never ideal, right? So you might be wondering how common it is, and the truth is that it's not very common. When it does become more common is in really hot markets, in hot sellers markets where the comps can't keep up with the prices at which properties are really selling. But either way, they're really not that common. What happens is that whenever you go into a contract, whenever you purchase a property or you sell a property, you agree with the buyer or the seller, you come to an agreement on the price, and then you move forward. One of the first steps in the process, once you go into contract, if the buyer is taking a loan, is that the bank will order an appraisal, and the bank has to appraise the house. And this is a saying that we have in our business. We have to sell a property twice, once to the buyer, and then we have to sell it again to the bank. Because if it doesn't appraise, you do end up running into issues. So it's not very common, but when it does happen, this is how it usually goes. So the bank will come in, they'll do the appraisal, and the only time you'll see properties under appraised is if the sale price is way above where all the comps are at. So the appraiser, right? A bank and an appraiser, they always, when they have a sale price, you have a contract, they have a target to hit. So what they're trying to do is they want the property to appraise, because everybody wants to keep the deal going, right? So they look at the comps, and as long as there's enough information and comps to justify the price, then normally it will come in at the appraised value, because the appraiser has a target that they're trying to hit, which is the contract price. Now, the only time you run into issues is when the contract price is either way above where all of the other sales are in the area, and so it's obvious that there's no way to justify the price that it's selling at, or if the price is a lot higher for than a comparable property. So let's say you had a 1,200 square foot house, and it was in all original condition, and it sold for $650, and now you have the house that is in contract now, and this one is 1,200 square feet, original condition, and it sells for $700. It's hard for an appraiser to justify that extra $50,000 when the houses that are selling are very similar condition, yet the other one sold for much less. So they're always trying to hit the target, which is the contract price, and the only time that it becomes an issue is when the appraiser has too hard of a time to justify the price that the property is selling for. But if I had to give it a percentage, I would say 90% of properties typically do come in at the appraised value. So they do appraise. It's a very minor amount of property sales that will come in low. It will be, let's say, 10% to 20%, and you tend to see it more in a hot seller's market where properties are selling for a lot more because of multiple offer situations, and generally they drive the price up over what the actual closed sales are at. And so then when the appraiser goes in to do the appraisal, they see that the closed sales are here, but the sale price is here, and that's because the market drove it up there. But either way, it becomes hard for an appraiser to justify the higher value unless they have some data to help do that. So that's long story short, how it pretty much works whenever an appraisal comes in low. Is it common? No, it's not really common. How often? It's not very often that appraisals do come in low. They typically come in at the price, and the deal continues to move forward. That's why you want to make sure that if you're selling or buying, that you're very conscious of where the sold comps are and what will most likely be used whenever you have an appraisal done on your house, because you want to make sure that it's not too far out there where an appraiser is going to have a hard time justifying a price that you get. All right? Hopefully that answers your question. If you have any questions related to appraisals and how this works with property once you go into contract and when the appraisal's done, and how to help justify the price, feel free to drop it in the comments below. And as always, if you have any questions that you'd like us to answer or to cover, topics to cover on the channel, then just drop them in the comments below and we'll be sure to shoot a video for you in the near future. All right, thanks as always for tuning in. Take care. Have a great day.